All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk here on this Wednesday night, September 28, 2022. Got a lot to talk about, a lot of stuff going on all over the sports world. Got a big Thursday night football game coming up tomorrow night. Joined by, like always, by the Judge. How's it going, Judge?
What's up, Gonzo? We're back in the building once again.
Yeah.
Sports, doing what we do best, doing what we love to do. And it's great to be back for another episode of Gonzo and the Judge. And you know what? We saw history tonight. We saw another judge do his thing tonight in Major League Baseball. Aaron Judge made history tonight. The chase for number 61 is over. Finally. Thank God. You know, he finally hit the home run. We've been waiting for a while now. It took 7+ games for him to finally, smash the home run to tie the record for the most American League home runs. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, but now it's going. Everybody's going to be talking to his number 62. Now instead of waiting for 61, everybody's going to be waiting on that number 62 now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey man, and baseball just a few days away from getting ready to kick off the playoffs, so that's always a great time of the year. Like I said, we have a big NFL game tomorrow night. You got the Dolphins heading to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. What do you think about this game tomorrow night? I think it's a big game early in the season, especially for the Bengals.
Well, it's worth watching because you have a 3-0 Miami Dolphins team facing a team that reached the Super Bowl a year ago, but has not lived up to the expectations to start the season. This is a Bengals team that got off to a slow start, has kind of rediscovered themselves in this prior week or so. So this is an interesting matchup because you got a new look Miami Dolphins team. You got a team that looks like they're serious. You got a team that looks like a laughing stock no more. And the Miami Dolphins, to start the season, they have looked quite impressive, Chris. You can't take anything away from what this team has accomplished early. And, if you paid close attention, Tua is looking like he is having a breakthrough season. Now, I know it's still early. I know it's a very small sample from him, but through these first 3 games, he's looked very impressive. He looks like a quarterback that has kind of, revitalized his career at this point. And I've been saying it all along that this is a make or break year for him. I think the Dolphins can very well improve to 4-0 against a shaky, erratic Bengals team that hasn't played well to start the season. Joe Burrow has struggled. He's looked out of character at times. The offense has looked out of sync. The offensive line, yes, they address some of those needs in their offensive line, but the offensive line still hasn't looked up to par And so there's been some question marks for this Bengals team. So I'm excited about this game. I will be watching this game tomorrow night on Amazon Prime, and I'm going to give the slight advantage because of how they played thus far. I'm going to give the slight advantage to the Miami Dolphins here.
All right. I'm going the other way in this game. I think the Bengals are going to win this game. I like that they're at home. They finally got that win last week, albeit I know it was against the Jets. And Dustin Reese, that guy says, all rise, the court is now in session. Real quick, Glenn Richardson says, good evening, guys. What's up, Glenn?
What's up, fellas?
Jared Ramirez, I can't believe World Series playoffs is almost coming. Yeah, it's here real close. I can't wait for the playoffs as well. Dustin's, and that's kind of what to the point I'm getting ready to go with my take on this game. Tua had one good game and two okay games. Needs to be more consistent. And then, what's up, Con Man? And he said, and the judge is my guy. Oh, so I'm not his guy. I'm just some dude, but you're his guy. I have to give the Con Man a little bit. Gotta give him a little bit of trouble. Thoughts on the upcoming World Cup? I'm gonna be honest here, and I know a lot of people ain't gonna like this. I've just never got into soccer, but I'm going to give soccer a chance because Dustin told me to go watch a live game, and it would change my mind on it. So I'm gonna go watch a live game here in Indy coming up here as soon as I can. And I'm gonna give soccer more of a shot. I'm actually gonna try to watch some of this World Cup. Soccer's just not been a game that I don't know. Watching it on TV, it's hard for me to get into. Now live, I'll probably like it because I love going to live sporting events. So I am going to give it a shot. I'm going to try to watch some of the World Cup this year. So I'm not the guy to really give you thoughts on the World Cup.
I'm not either. I'm not really.
I don't know how much if Judge watches the soccer or not.
I'm not a soccer expert. I don't really understand the intricacies of the game, and I don't pretend to. I know there's a lot of rules to the game of soccer, but I also do respect the game. I'm not one of these guys who criticize the sport because I don't get into it. You have a lot of sports fans who don't like a particular sport. They'll say that sport is stupid. That sport is dumb. Why is it stupid? Why is it stupid or dumb? Because you don't like it? That doesn't make the sport stupid. I think across the globe, soccer is one of the more respected sports.
Oh yeah,
throughout the world. I mean, because it's played in every country. It's played in every country you could think of. So it's global. It's well respected, and so many countries could relate to it because everyone plays soccer. You go everywhere around the country, and you'll find someone kicking a soccer ball and trying to get that soccer ball into a net. So I mean, it's a very popular sport. More kids are playing it. You're seeing it. You're seeing more kids play that sport coming up now. It's common that kids play soccer now. So it's a big sport. A lot of people are excited for the World Cup. And I will be honest, I do watch the World Cup, even though I don't watch much soccer or follow much soccer. But the World Cup has always been an event that I do follow and that I look forward to. I think it's because it only happens every 4 years, so it's something different, and it's great to see the world come together and compete for an event like that. So I definitely tune into the World Cup. I will be watching, but don't expect too many articles from me. Don't expect too many videos from me because I'm not really an expert when it comes to soccer. That's not my area of expertise.
All right, yeah, no, I understand that as well. I'm like I said, my dad watches the World Cup. I haven't watched much of it, but getting back to the Dolphins and the Bengals for a minute, I like the Bengals. I think being at home is going to be a thing. I think their offensive line is they tried to revamp it, and sometimes when you change out some parts, it takes a few games for them guys to really gel together. So I think their offensive line is going to get a little bit better, getting a little bit better each game as the season goes on. At least I hope so for Joe Burrow's sake. But Man, I know the Dolphins are 3-0, but if you look at them games, they've not been one of the most impressive teams. I mean, the game against Baltimore, they should have lost. They came back in the fourth quarter with some help from a big collapse. I mean, it's still a win. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? It wasn't like they dominated that game. And then last week, yeah, they beat the Bills, but the Bills dominated that game, time of possession, yards, just couldn't put up points. Tua didn't even throw for 200 yards in that game, and everybody's getting on the Tua train. But then people want to say Lamar Jackson can't throw the ball. And Lamar Jackson has 10 passing touchdowns and threw for over 200 yards last week. So to me, it don't make no sense. Why are we building up one guy and the other guy we're trying to say he can't throw the ball?
Right.
I haven't seen enough out of Tua to be sold on him yet. I'm not saying that they can't win this game tomorrow because they can. They play good as a team. But I like the Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to get their offense going. I think if the offensive line can just give Burrow a little bit of time, him and Chase can get back on the same page and get rolling again like they were last year. I think that's been a lot of the problem is he's been running for his life back there, and he hasn't been able to get the ball to his receivers. He hasn't had time to let routes develop. And I think that was another thing. They need to change some of their play calling. They're running too many of these long developing routes where right now with the offensive line they have, you can't. They got to get the ball out of Joe Burrow's hand quicker. And I hope that they'll make some adjustments like that. So, but I'm going to take the Bengals in this game tomorrow night.
You got to give more touches to Joe Mixon as well. You got to kind of allow him to facilitate that offense. And I think if you could do that, you put yourself in a better situation to win football games. Because like I always say, the running game allows you to do more things offensively. You know, you could become more dangerous offensively. It opens more doors for you offensively. You know, by establishing
picking the Dolphins till they lose.
Hey, you know, like they always say, if you establish the run in a game, that opens up things for your offense. You know, you could call more play action plays. Get a little fancy with your offense. Get more cute. The offense suddenly could become more unpredictable because you're mixing things up. You're running the ball, and now you're calling passing plays as well. So I think that would help as well, and that would take some of the pressure off of a guy like Joe Burrow, who doesn't have to throw the ball 50 times a game. You know, because I think sometimes they get away from Joe Mixon and they rely heavily on Joe Burrow's ability to pass the ball. Now, we all know how good Joe Burrow is. We know he's capable, right, of leading that offense. He led it to a Super Bowl a year ago, came back from an injury, and did it in 1 year. You know, that's insane. You know, and this guy is a freakish athlete. You know, he has that swagger. He has that demeanor about himself. And he is definitely a team leader. And he's definitely a quarterback you would love to have. He's a treat to watch. This is a guy who can stretch the field. You know, he has the weapons that he can use. But I think you when you have a running game behind you too, and you have a guy like Joe Mixon, you have to get him involved more.
No, I agree too. Thoughts on Federer? Is he the GOAT even though Novak passed him in titles? You got any thoughts on that? Do you watch much tennis?
I watch tennis, yes, I do. I think what Federer did in his career or has done in his tennis career is remarkable. I don't think it will ever be replicated. If it is, it's going to be probably, many years down the road. A lot of us probably won't be around if that next guy does come along at some point. But I think it's fair to say that Federer is the greatest male, well, one of the greatest male tennis players. I don't want to say he's the greatest because that would be to me, that would be disrespectful to guys like Andre Agassi, P. Sampras. We saw what they did during their era. They dominated. But to answer the question, is Federer better than Nadal? I would have to say yes. I would have to say yes. And a lot of their matchups were close, right? These are guys who dominated tennis at such a high level. They competed. They're fierce competitors. They went at it time and time again. And Federer was more of a guy who reigned supreme on grass, while Nadal was better on clay. And we saw that for a long time as well. But these guys have some epic battles, but I think I would have to give the slight edge to Roger Federer.
Yeah, I think I'd give the edge to Federer too, just because of his longevity. He was at the top for so long. Well, any other besides tomorrow's Thursday night football game in NFL? Any other of the NFL games this weekend really catch your eye that maybe you're more excited to watch than others?
I don't really have a game that I'm excited about. I just want football. That's it. Look, I'm a diehard. I'm a big football fan. Just give me a good game. I'm tired of these primetime games being as boring as hell. I want to see some more competitive football. I want to see games.
We've had more 3-point games in the first 3 weeks. Games decided by 3 points or less in the first 3 weeks of this NFL season than we've ever had.
But I'm referring to these, not the Sunday games alone. I'm talking about like the primetime games, like the Monday night games, the Sunday night games.
What was wrong with the Monday night game this week?
The Monday night game, it was all right.
It was a good game.
It got off to a slow start, then it picked up.
Every game don't have to be 34 or 31 to 28.
But it was like watching a boring movie that could put you to sleep.
Oh, see, people don't appreciate. That's the problem. People don't appreciate
drama until damn near the end of the movie. By then you're already knocked out.
Problem though. People don't appreciate defense no more.
Your head's already halfway over on the hanging off the couch. You're slobbering.
People don't appreciate defense no more. That's the problem. People don't appreciate defense no more. Everybody just wants all offense.
I will tell you this, though. That Cowboys-Giants game was better than that Broncos-49ers game.
I thought the Cowboys-Giants game was a pretty good football game. I really did.
I was close to turning it off, but then it got good.
I'm not saying it was a great game, but it was a pretty good game.
Things got interesting, and then the game suddenly took a turn. And it was able to draw my interest.
All right. Let's talk a little bit NBA here. What do you think about Monty Williams has not spoke to DeAndre Ayton since Game 7 of last season, and they got into it a little bit. So do you think things are maybe falling apart in Phoenix this season, where you have Ayton and Williams little controversy? Then you have the Sarver situation wrapped around that as well. Could you see Phoenix maybe taking a step back this season with some of the issues they have going on over there?
Well, I don't think it can have an effect on the team. Or it's going to either do two things, Chris. It's going to send this team into an emotional tailspin, or either this team is going to be really, really locked in next season. Maybe this is something that can bring this team closer together with all the off-court issues, with the silence between DeAndre Ayton and Monty Williams. All of this stuff can either break the team or make the team. All of this stuff can either cause chaos and friction in the locker room, or it can either bring this team together and make this team stronger. And we won't really know much about it until the actual season plays out. But
yeah, well, not the whole season. Once the season gets started, we'll know.
Right. But I mean, it's not the first time that something has happened like this. We just don't hear about it all the time. Sometimes this stuff doesn't get out into the public, and when it does, everyone is freaking out. Everyone is hitting the panic button. Everyone is, offering their opinion and telling everyone how they feel about this, how this can affect the team, how the team is going to start losing games because no one's getting along. Well, here's a news flash for you guys. This happens on every team. You just don't hear about it. So is Ayton's days numbered in Phoenix? There's a possibility, but if they're not speaking, that's not necessarily a good thing, and now it's blowing up. It's been publicized, and it's telling that these two guys are not on the same page right now. If they haven't talked, or maybe it's not that big of a thing. Maybe people are making it bigger than what it is. Maybe at some point these two guys will talk. I would expect more from Williams. Maybe Williams will reach out to him and actually have a conversation with him, or maybe they'll settle their indifferences at some point. But I don't know when, and I don't know what it will take to work out their differences. But I know they have a player by the name of Chris Paul who can keep his guys together, a guy who came in and kind of revamped that culture. So I think by the time it's all said and done, the Phoenix Suns will be just fine. They will compete, and they will. I'm not saying they're going to win the whole thing, but they'll definitely be a contending team in the West.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think so. Drunk says I think Monty Williams just completely overate and he'll be traded first day of January.
I think so too.
I know a lot of people feel that way. The only thing to that don't make a whole lot of sense to me. If you're going to trade him, why match? Well, I guess by matching the offer with Indiana, at least if you trade him, you get something for him. You just don't lose him.
It will be all business and nothing personal. It would be all business and nothing personal, but it does sound like to me that the Suns are done, that they're willing to move on, that they're willing to trade him suddenly, and I think that's their plans when January does come around the calendar, and I think they will absolutely move on from him.
Yeah, I think this team's on its way backwards. I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year. I really don't. I think you just have too much going on. I think it's going to be hard for them to build that chemistry that you really need to make a deep playoff run. So right. I think they're going to be. I think they take a step back this year. I really do.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I think the Suns will accept any trade scenario they can. And I think they will kind of listen to all offers and see what's the best deal out there and get Ayton moved as soon as possible.
That guy says the Suns are done as burnt toast. They'll miss postseason, go in rebuild mode. I kind of could see that happening as well.
I don't see them missing the postseason. I think they'll lose in the playoffs, but I still think they'll be a playoff team. I mean, you're losing Ayton. You're not losing Devin Booker or Chris Paul. You know?
Yeah, it'll have no comment says it'll have no effect. They'll get together. Fact, he got this bag. Yeah, you still have Devin Booker and Chris Paul, but where'd that get you last year?
Right. Well, Chris Paul also has a history for.
But yeah, but as soon as Chris Paul had his birthday, after that, he didn't play worth the crap the rest of the playoffs.
Right. Yeah, and I mean that's been his entire career. This is a guy who can get you so far, and then all of a sudden he performs a choke job, and he goes AWOL, and you can't find him suddenly. It's like looking for Waddle. You remember that book where you have to search for Waddle? Well, that's what happens with Chris Paul. It's like he goes missing or lost and found, and you're digging and lost and found, and you're looking for this guy, and you can't find him anywhere. That's Chris Paul. That's the best way of describing Chris Paul.
Yeah, Glenn said, wouldn't that be wild? I'm going to the Pacers game in Phoenix in January. Be wild if Phoenix and Pacers swap centers. Dustin says Jay Crowder will be gone too.
Yeah, he's a free agent. I heard rumors about
Comment says we're wrong.
That's not happening. Oh man, comment, we're wrong.
And what about with the Nets? Kind of along the same thing. You had Kevin Durant, and part of his trade ask for Steve Nash to be fired, and that GM to be fired. Now all these guys are going to try to work together again. You have a Ben Simmons who says he's fired up, ready to play. I mean, Nets have a lot of good pieces on that team if they can all get on the same page.
He said Ben Simmons said he was
same page.
Ben Simmons said he was fired up and ready to go when he got traded there and didn't play a single game.
Dude, I'm just telling you what he said on podcast.
And didn't play a single game. Okay, has not played a game. He sits on the sideline dressed in street clothes.
He had a hurt back too, man.
Yeah, but how did you injure your back? Did you slip in a bathtub? No
matter how you injured it.
Were you walking out?
Hurt back.
Were you walking outside and you slipped on a banana peel? I mean, what happened? How did you injure your back? Were you on the sticks one night playing video games and you got mad with the controller and you tried to throw it and I injured my back? Or I mean, what happened? But I don't know about this team, man. I don't know about Kyrie Irving, because to me, Kyrie Irving, like I always say, he's not dependable, he's not reliable, and there's gonna be that time. There's gonna be that time where Kyrie Irving decides to step away from the game, because we know that's what he does, And I mean, what if there's another natural disaster, or what if there's another police shooting in this country, and he decides that he's gonna once again be an activist, and that's gonna create this unwanted distraction that's gonna cause him to walk away from the game.
That's a chance you're taking, but I'm saying if they're all bought in, man, this team's going to look good. I'm not saying that they're going to win a championship this year, but they have the talent on that team that could, if they can.
They have the talent on the team. You can have the talent, but can you win on a consistent level, and can you keep all those players on the court is the bigger question.
I think they will. I think they will this year, as long as you're barring injuries.
And who's the leader on that team? I still need confirmation. Like, who is the leader on that team?
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. Somebody's going to have to step up and be a leader. I'm not saying, I said, I'm not saying they're winning the championship.
Who's going to hold people
accountable? A lot better than they were last year.
That's my question. Who's going to hold people accountable? And who's going to take accountability on that team? Because it certainly won't be Kevin Durant.
I forgot you don't like Durant.
I have nothing against Durant. I think he's a damn good player. I've said countless times that he is one of the best players in the game today. And a lot of people believe that he's arguably the best player in the world. He's all those things, right? But he's also sensitive. He can't take criticism. He can't handle the pressure. You know, he doesn't have the leadership quality.
I ain't gonna say he can't handle the pressure
because he can't.
You can't say he can't handle the pressure. This dude hit 2 big game-winning shots in the NBA Finals to be NBA Finals MVP.
I get that.
You can't say he can't handle pressure.
I get that, but he needs a lot of help. Why you think he recruited?
You can say he's not a leader. You can say he's not a leader, but you can't say the dude isn't good under pressure. He's been clutch in some big situations.
He's been clutch, but he still needs a lot of help. So what that tells me is that this guy is not willing to take on the responsibility of a leader. That he's not a leader of man. That he needs all the help he can get. He had to go to an already stacked team when he joined forces with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson in Golden State. That's a roster that was already built to win a championship. He goes there and he wins a pair of NBA championships. Then he leaves, says he wants to build something special with Kyrie Irving, and it all implodes. Is it all
his fault that Kyrie instead had to miss half the game, the home games last season?
That's not his fault, but someone needs to be man enough to hold those people accountable, and Kyrie Irving included. And nobody held him accountable. I know he missed ample time. He missed a lot of games because of his vaccination status, right? But still, this team didn't have enough time to develop chemistry because of that.
I understand that, but how's that KD's fault?
KD didn't take KD is not. It's not necessarily his fault, but what I'm saying, he doesn't have the leadership qualities. That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying, yeah, but yeah, saying he don't have leadership qualities, which I can get on board with that. He's not a great leader,
right.
But him not being a great leader, what's that have to do with Kyrie not getting the vaccine and sitting out? That's not KD's fault. That's nothing he can control.
I mean, yeah, you could persuade him, but you can't really force someone who.
I mean, that's not of his control.
Right.
I'll give you
right. You can't force him to get the vaccine because this is a man who has his own personal beliefs and who is obviously anti-vaccine.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I don't think you can blame KD for that. I do agree with you. I'll give you that. KD has not shown so far that he's a great leader. I can get on board with that. But to say that he folds under pressure, I don't see that because I've seen the dude be clutch in some big situations.
Right,
hit a couple big shots right in the face of LeBron James in the NBA Finals.
You're right. You're right. I should have worded that differently. I think what I mean is that
he's not a great leader, is what you're getting at.
And what else I'm getting at too? I think he needs a lot of help around him. He needs like a sidekick and maybe a good role player to help get his team over the hump. I don't think he's that player that feels confident enough in himself to lead the team totally by himself. I think he needs that guy to play alongside him, like a Kyrie Irving.
Who's the player? Name me a player in the NBA right now that can win a championship by themselves.
Not many. Unless you're LeBron James, who dragged.
You think LeBron James right now can win a championship by himself?
He dragged a bunch of cast-offs and misfits to the NBA Finals when he was in Cleveland.
Yeah, that was when he was young. I'm saying right now, you think LeBron James by himself can lead a team to the NBA Finals?
Not right now because he's older. He's.
That's what I'm saying. So why are we holding that against Kevin Durant? There's not a player in the league right now that can lead a team to the NBA Finals by themselves without any help.
I mean, if you could say Giannis did in a sense because look, I mean, this is a guy who had a historic playoff run.
Yeah, he did.
And he didn't get much help from his supporting cast. I mean, yes, you had Chris Middleton step up big in some games. You had Drew Holiday, but still, it was most nights it was on Giannis to come up with the big plays and take over ball games and carry his team.
But yeah, that's why you're the star. You're going to have some of that, but I don't think there's anybody in the NBA that just can carry a team and win a championship without some other guys. Giannis, but he had Middleton. And you saw what happened. You saw what happened to the Bucks. To what Dustin beat me to getting it out of my mouth. Look what happened to the Bucks this year when they didn't have Middleton. And look how many people believed that the Bucks could be in the finals. Would have been in the finals this year if Middleton don't get hurt.
Right.
So I mean, there ain't nobody that can do it all by themselves. Everybody has to have some help.
I still think Kevin Durant went to a stacked Warriors team.
Yeah, the Warriors team was stacked, but you're telling me if you had a chance to go there, you wouldn't go there?
I think that I think why people were so frustrated with that move and why people were highly critical of him was because he went to a team that beat his team.
No, I understand why people are critical of him, but what I'm saying is, if you have a chance to go play on that team, you're telling me you're not going to go play.
Hey, I could be like Damian Lillard and say no.
Hey, and then the media be telling you how stupid you are too. So either way, the media is going to be on you.
I mean, Damian Lillard is one of those guys who's committed to loyalty.
Yeah, but look how many people has buried Lillard and said that he don't care about winning. Don't care about trying to win a championship.
Oh, but if he took the money and joined a stacked team, then they'll be saying, "Oh, well,
yeah." That's my point. You're saying about Durant. It goes both ways. Either way, the media is going to jump on you.
I just feel like he's not one of those guys you can trust because I feel like when the going gets tough, he's gonna request a trade. He's gonna all of a sudden say, "I want out." And we saw that, right? He really wanted out of Brooklyn. But he's under contract. And now is the time to actually honor your contract. If you weren't sure about locking yourself up in a long-term contract, then you should have taken a 1 year or a 2 year. But this is what Kevin Durant does. And I feel like he's not always up for the challenge. Yes, he can ball. Yes, he can knock down big shots. But sometimes I feel like he wants to take the easiest route to win an NBA championship.
Okay. Let's say the Nets win the NBA championship this year. Is that going to change your opinion on Durant, or is there going to be other reasons that he's not that guy?
No, I'm just saying that
I'm asking what change your opinion if they were to win a championship this season.
It wouldn't change my opinion about him. No.
Okay. I just wanted to see how personal it was.
It's not personal. It's just that I just couldn't trust him because what if something goes wrong with my franchise and what if we start losing games? We have players that go down with injuries. We have a guard that is burning sage in arenas, and all of a sudden he wants to skip out on games, and because he skips out on games and he's not as committed to playing basketball like you are, now you want to request a trade and pout like a big old baby because suddenly it's not going your way. That's the problem I have with Durant.
Who would think? Yeah.
Well, then maybe I should take the easy way out in podcasting then.
What do you mean the easy way out podcasting? What's the easy way out?
Huh?
I said, what's the easy way out?
I don't know. I thought maybe you would have the inside information on that one.
If I had the easy way,
maybe you have some secret sauce.
If I had the easy way out on the podcast and the easy way to make money on podcasts, I wouldn't be doing 6-7 shows a day trying to get to that point. I've done what? 5 yesterday. I don't think I've done 4. No, I've done 5 again. No, I think I've only done 4 today. Tomorrow will be another 5 or 6 show day. Got to stay busy, man. So I do as much as I can.
Gonzo.
Let's get back.
Mike,
Let's talk a little bit about.
Mike said he'd rather watch paint dry.
Let's talk a little bit about this baseball. And then we'll talk a little football before we get out of here. Well, yeah, we'll talk a little more football before we go. Baseball getting close to the playoffs here. Who's your favorites going into the playoffs? I'm sticking with my originals I picked at the beginning of the season. Even though that I think there could be a couple other teams that might step up because one of my originals I'm starting to worry about our I shouldn't say not our. I'm starting to worry about their pitching staff a little bit with some injuries. But what teams do you like here in the playoffs, Dustin? Hey, I had something came up this morning. I had to take him. I will be ready in the morning. Oh, he has to be work at 8, so I have him dropped off at work before I ever have to worry about messing with it and get back home for the show. So I'll be ready at 9 a.m. But yeah, Jonathan, what were you thinking about the baseball playoffs here? Who are your favorites? Are they the same ones that you thought would be there? Or
is there a way we can put up the playoff bracket to show everybody what it kind of looks like?
Not really now because I didn't think about that.
Okay, yeah, there's not a way.
I mean, I could, but we could do that Friday. I could get it in the system. We could do it Friday.
Well, let's start with the home team since I live in Los Angeles. Let's start with the Dodgers. The Dodgers have 106 wins on the season, right? That's within itself is unbelievable. Not every team can win that many games. But that will all be forgotten if the Dodgers don't win the World Series. I mean, you can win 106 games or 107, 108, however many games you win. If you don't win the World Series, that's a colossal failure, right? That's a gigantic disappointment. But we all know how the Dodgers are in October, right? This is a team.
There's the American League playoff matchups, courtesy of the stat guy. Thanks. Yankees and Astros have the byes. Cleveland would be hosting Seattle, and Toronto hosting the Tampa Bay Rays.
Okay, so back to the Dodgers real quick. This is a team. This is a team that has all the summer magic, right? Like they go on this magical run. It's kind of like watching Aladdin, right? It's kind of like watching Aladdin and Jasmine ride through Algaba on this magic carpet ride, right? And it's a whole new world, wonderful place, lovely things to see, right? Then they get to October, and it turns into a hocus pocus movie. You know, it turns into a horror show, right? They disappear. Their magic has suddenly got kidnapped. The magic eludes them, and they just can't find themselves. They all of a sudden the Dodgers don't know who the hell they are. You know, so that's the biggest concern going into October again. And the Dodgers, to me, their rotation is thin. You know, you don't have Walker Buehler. Dustin May is back on the injured list, by the way. You know, you're expecting a lot out of guys like Julio Urias and Clayton Kershaw. You know, and those guys are going to have to step up and pull a lot of the weight in the starting rotation. You don't really have a closer. Your closer is by committee. You know, the bullpen is a bit suspect. I don't know. I think the Dodgers, when they meet a really, really good Mets team or a Braves team, I just have that feeling that they're not going to win in a best-of-7 series. You know, I like the Yankees. I think the Yankees are definitely going to rely heavily on their offense because you got Aaron Judge, of course, and then you got Giancarlo Stanton. But I think everyone is so focused on what Aaron Judge can do and this historic season that he's had. But let's not forget that Stanton is vital to that offense. He's vital to that offense because I feel like if you don't have him in that lineup, you're not going very far. And I feel like pitching is going to have to be a lot better for the Yankees too because I feel like that with the year that the Yankees are having, I feel like it's that one team that they face in the playoffs that could just eliminate them and their season's over. You know, because we've been talking about the Yankees this, Yankees that. But here's the thing. Those teams that face them in the playoffs, they're going to play them very hard. And if the Yankees let their guard down, the Yankees will be going home. And I think they will.
If any team lets their guard down in the playoffs, you're going home.
Right. But I think the Yankees are that team that's capable of letting their guard down, especially if they play against a hot. Who's the team? What the bracket look like for them?
Okay, here's the National League bracket real quick, and let's since you started with the Dodgers, let's stay on the National League for a second, and we'll go.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
You got National League. Dodgers and the Mets have the byes right now. Cards would host the Phillies or the Brewers, and then the Braves or the Mets would host the Padres.
Oh, the Padres are done. The Padres are done. If they get the Mets in the first round, they're done. And that's not me being a homer. That's not me, dissing.
I think if they get the Braves in the first round, they're done. But
yeah. Either team they draw, they're done. They're done. No question about it.
I'm still sticking with the Mets, even though what worries me about the Mets a little bit is Max Scherzer, how healthy he's going to be going into the playoffs. But if he's healthy, if he can perform, the Mets I think are just going to be so tough with that pitching staff in a seven game series where you can face DeGrom and Scherzer twice,
right?
And then in the American League. But no, wait a minute. Before I go on, but you have the Braves that have been hot. You can't look past the Cardinals. You have the Dodgers are a good team. No matter, we can say their history. We can say their history. Yeah, they've been there and they're going to be a tough out. I think the National League is going to be real interesting. I'm going to stick with the Mets because that's who I chose at the beginning of the season, and I still think if their pitching can get going. They're really going to have a good chance. On the American League, what you were talking about the Yankees and Astros should have the bye. Would have the byes.
Oh yeah, they will.
Cleveland will be hosting Seattle, and Toronto would be hosting the Tampa Bay Rays.
I really like Cleveland as a sleeper team. I don't know what it is about Cleveland, why I like them so much, but those young guys over there, they have nothing to lose. They're not really playing for much because a lot of people are not really talking about them.
I like Seattle more as a sleeper team than Cleveland because of Seattle's pitching staff.
Yeah. With
them adding Castillo at the trade deadline,
Gilbert,
but that also depends on Julio Rodriguez's health as well because right now he's dealing with a back issue and isn't playing. So how healthy he is going into the playoffs would play a big part in that as well.
Hey, that Toronto and Tampa series, though.
But I'll tell you what, Toronto's hot. Hey, Stat Guy has been with Toronto all season. That's who he picked to be in the World Series from the get-go. And they've gotten hot at the right time. Their starting pitching finally started pitching. And I think Toronto's a team to look out for. At the beginning of the season. Yeah. At the beginning of the season, I said the Yankees and Mets that was going to have a Subway series, and so I'm going to stay with that. But I can see Toronto really making some noise, and you can't count the Stros out. I mean, the Stros have a good team, and so I do think that National League matchups are going to be, I think, are going to be a little bit more intriguing, especially in the first round. But I'm real excited about the baseball playoffs.
Same here. I'm always excited about October. It's a fun time of the sports year. To me, it is. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
postseason baseball has always been
we got postseason baseball, NFL in full swing, NBA
right.
will be starting here pretty soon. So I mean, yeah, you're it's in sports
It's
are in full swing right now,
yeah, it's in full swing in
and you're gonna have the
October
World Cup
and
this year.
March too is also. Well, no, is it March? Because then you have March Madness, you have NBA, uh, and then you have hockey going on. So it's always fun around that time as well.
Yep. Any NCAA football games you looking forward to this weekend? Any big college football games?
USC and Arizona State.
Oh, come on. That's not even going to be that good of a game.
It's in my backyard.
It's not going to be that good of a game. Arizona State didn't even have the decency to fire their damn coach in private. They done it on the damn field.
Right. And turns out it was the staff, his staff, that got on fire.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they done Herm wrong. You want to get rid of them, get rid of them. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not going to tell you who to keep and who to fire, but they could have been handled a hell of a lot more professionally.
What's your big game this week?
Oof.
As far as matchups go.
Let me pull them up real quick, see what games we have in college football real quick. I'm not gonna lie, I'm real ready for NFL. There's who was it? Okay, Kentucky. I think the Kentucky and Ole Miss game should be a good game. 7 versus 14. I think that's going to be a good one. There was another one we talked about yesterday.
Michigan and Iowa. How about that one?
That could be all right. I think Michigan's going to be too much for Iowa, but
yeah, I think so too.
I know a lot of people think the Alabama and Arkansas game is going to be interesting. Oklahoma State and Baylor. I think that could be a good game. But the other Wake Forest and Florida State. I was looking forward to watching that game. I think them two teams are probably pretty close in talent.
Good, yeah.
I think that's going to be a fun game. NC State against Clemson. I think it's going to be a fun one as well. So yeah, I think there's some pretty intriguing matchups for Saturday.
Yeah, there's some, but that week 1, man, that was really the best week. It was really a lot of intriguing matchups in that first week.
In NFL, I'm looking forward to seeing the Buffalo and Baltimore. Of course, the Colts game, but I mean other games, Buffalo and Baltimore game. I think.
Why you want to see the Buffalo game? So Ken Dorsey can go crazy in the coaching booth again.
Hey! I don't have no problem with that. I heard some people try to get on him about it. Like, dude,
well, he's always been an emotional guy. He was like that when he was the quarterback at the University of Miami. That's nothing new. That's nothing surprising if you've known the guy for many years. You know how he is. He's very passionate and fiery. He's always been like that. And sometimes people let their emotions get the best of them. Sometimes we have to throw tantrums like a baby to feel better about ourselves. I was cracking jokes and making fun of it. You saw me. I was posting the videos and posting some memes about it. I thought the whole thing was entertaining.
Greg says Washington versus UCLA. UCLA will be interesting as well. Yeah, I think I do. I think that'll be a good one.
UCLA has looked pretty good.
Jacksonville and the Eagles in the NFL. I think could be an interesting game. We get to see.
Dustin thinks that Jacksonville could very well win the AFC South.
Colts are going to win the South.
Dustin asked him if he's watching.
Oh no! Dustin texted me the day, or texted right after Jacksonville won blew out the Chargers that they
He
were going
texted
to.
me too. He said Jacksonville's going to win the division.
Oh no, he's been. He actually said that. I have to give Dustin credit. Dustin said that before the season started as well, so it ain't like he just changed his mind now that the Jags have looked good the last couple of games. He thought before the season coming in that the Jags would win that division. So I'm not going to try to say that he like flip flopped or anything because he didn't. I think the Kansas City and Tampa Bay game could be interesting, especially if Tampa Bay gets some of the receivers back. So yeah,
any game with Tom Brady, I think is interesting.
So looking forward to the games coming up this weekend.
Yeah, let's see how Patrick Mahomes fare against the Bucs defense. And the Bucs will have all their players back this week, I think. I don't is Chris Godwin going to be back? I know Mike Evans is going to be back.
Yeah, Evans will be back because he just was on a 1-game suspension. I'm not sure about Godwin. I haven't really looked at the injury report. Well, let me see. It might tell me right here.
Yeah, so you getting your guys back, and things are gonna be better for the Buccaneers.
Godwin's not on the injury report.
So he's back.
Julio Jones is questionable. Russell Gage, wide receiver, questionable. Wide receiver Perriman is questionable. And then they have a defensive end and a defensive tackle questionable. So right now he'll at least have Godwin and Evans back.
Yeah, so see, they're getting two of their top receivers back. It's gonna be a different scenario.
The Chiefs have
Tampa this weekend.
McCole Hardman questionable. Ronald Jones questionable. Harrison Butker questionable. Marquez Valdez-Scantling questionable, and then a defensive end Dana questionable. So none of their like real big names. I mean, they really don't want to have McCole Hardman and Scantling probably both out, but being questionable, I would say they both probably have a good shot of playing.
Yeah.
He said, "Got to give Brady his AARP card Sunday night." Oh yeah. Hey, I know Greg's ready.
What's that comment?
Greg. I know Greg is ready to get back to or he's hoping the Chiefs get back to winning on.
Greg, he puts on a good
Sunday
show
after the Colts lost last weekend. What'd you say?
I said Greg. He puts on a good show.
Me and I actually was on Red Kingdom.
I saw that. And you know what? I shared it. I shared it on my fan page. I shared it on multiple. I shared it in multiple fan groups as well. Because I thought the content was really good, and I thought you guys did an overall good job.
Oh yeah, it was a great time. I'm looking forward to getting back on there sometime again when the Colts and Chiefs, maybe the Colts and Chiefs will play in the playoffs. And we can get back together again this season. But it was fun. I did actually predict the exact score of the game on Red Kingdom on Saturday. I said in final predictions, I took Colts 2017 over the Chiefs. We didn't get the points exactly how I thought we would, but yeah, I got lucky on that. I was like, I saw it. So I was doing a live pro wrestling show. I was at a wrestling show, and I was doing live commentary on it, and we were keeping track of the Colts game at the same time and stuff. When I saw the final score, I was like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!" Yeah, yes, Damien. Yep, R.I.P. Coolio. Saw that earlier this evening.
Yep. Sad day in the hip hop world. I loved Coolio growing up. Gangster's Paradise and Fantastic Voyage.
Yep.
He's from the West Coast too. He's from Compton, just not too far from here. So, local guy, a guy who was a great rapper in my time, and he'll be greatly missed. I don't know if the reports have been confirmed, but from what I'm hearing, he suffered a heart attack. He was visiting a friend, and he went to the bathroom, and they said he never came out. So yeah, it's a terrible loss. Sad news.
Oh yeah, very sad news. Any final thoughts before we get out of here for tonight? And then we'll.
Yes, sure. Prayers for Florida. Uh, my thoughts and prayers are with Florida at this time. Hurricane Ian has hit landfall in Florida, and some cities in Florida have already been affected by flooded waters and this hurricane. And so I would like to send my thoughts and prayers. You know, I pray for everyone's safety, and I hope you guys are all. I hope all my Florida friends, because I know I have a lot of Florida followers, and I hope all of you guys are safe, staying safe. If they tell you to evacuate, just do it. Just do it. Just get out of there. There's no need to try to ride the storm out. Evacuate, get your belongings, get whatever you need. Hell, leave the belongings where they are. The material items are not that important. Your life is. You only get one life, so cherish your life. Get the hell out of there. And protect yourselves. That's what it's all about. So again, I'm praying for Florida, and I also pledged $100 for hurricane relief efforts. So I hope that a lot of you guys choose to give back because those people are going to need help. They're going to need a lot of help, and every penny helps. Even if it's $5, it's something. I gave 100. I wish I can give 1,000. Hell, if I had 3,000 to give, I would give 3,000. That goes a long way. So we gotta support our people in Florida. We gotta send out our love to them and hope that they get through this storm.
Oh yeah, definitely. Thoughts and prayers to everybody that's going to be affected, not just in Florida, because I know there's going to be other places besides Florida as well.
Right. Yeah.
And also thoughts and prayers to all the guys from ASAP that are going to be affected. We got quite a few guys down there in the Florida area.
Yeah.
That are going to be right in the middle of this. So hope everybody be smart. Be smart. Listen, hey, if they want you to evacuate, do
just get the hell out.
I mean, do what's safe. Do the safest thing you can for you.
Right.
But hey, be safe. Hope everybody. Like I said, hopefully we don't never lose anybody. So hopefully we don't lose a lot of people from this storm, because sometimes you can. But I know they were saying like 140-mile-per-hour winds. I couldn't even imagine being in a 140-mile-per-hour wind. But
right,
yeah, so definitely thoughts.
I saw a video. It was some city in Florida where a tree fell on someone's house. Yeah, I mean it's crazy stuff,
Oh yeah.
But everyone just need to stay safe. Do what those people tell you to do. If they tell you to evacuate, listen. Take heed to it.
All right. Well, thank everybody for joining us tonight. We will see you guys again wait a minute. Before we get out here, don't forget, hit that subscribe button on the YouTube page, YouTube channels, please. At Gonzo Sports Room, at the All Sports All Plays Network, also at Sports Judge. Follow us on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, all the social media platforms at Gonzo Sports Room. Also follow the All Sports All Plays Network. All Sports All Plays has some big news that'll be coming out here real soon. So you want to make sure you keep your eyes peeled on the All Sports All Plays networks. Don't miss out on the big news that will be dropping here real soon about the network. Also, check out the All Sports All Plays network shows. You got the morning show 10 a.m. Eastern every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Then you also have the ASAP Afternoon Blitz 1 p.m. Eastern Monday through Friday. Easy Money, a sports betting show, 3 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. You have Unscripted on there on Tuesdays and Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. You got Red Kingdom, Greg's show, I know he does it Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern. I think sometimes he does it on Tuesdays as well. So I mean, hey, there's a bunch of shows, a lot of talented guys over there. So make sure you check out the All Sports All Plays Network. Same with Gonzo Sports Room. If you're a pro wrestling fan, we got a lot of wrestling content on our page as well. I'll be actually streaming live this Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. DCCW Cornfield Carnage. WWE legend, hardcore legend, and WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley will be in attendance at this show. You also have the WWE legend, the Boogeyman, will be in action. You got a lot of wrestlers that's been on AEW Dark that's going to be there. It should be an outstanding show. We'll be streaming it live on the All Sports All Plays Network and on the Gonzo Sports Room Network, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch this Saturday, October 1st at 7 p.m. Eastern. So tune in. If you're a wrestling fan, tune in Saturday night. It's going to be a great night of action. You won't be disappointed. You'll be able to watch the matches. Myself, my dad, and at least probably one other guy. We'll be doing live commentary for all the matches right there from almost basically ringside. So it's going to be should be a great night of action. So join us for that Saturday night. And then on Sunday, we'll be doing a Colts watch along for the Colts game Sunday against Tennessee at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So join us for that Sunday. Judge, I forget anything?
No, I think you nailed it. You got to everything.
All right.
Yep.
On behalf of the judge, I'm Chris Gonzalez. We will see you guys Friday night, 11 p.m. Eastern, for another episode of Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk. Stay safe.
Good night.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.